Hi there, my name is Alex, but I'm also known as Chibiyuto. And this is the first video of a series of videos that I'm about to make, in which I will do video reviews of CLAMP's doujinshis. For those who don't know, doujinshi is the Japanese word for independent publication. And for those who also don't know, before CLAMP became this powerful manga house that they are today, they used to do a lot of doujinshis and publish them independently. They published a total of 12 doujinshis under the name of CLAMP, and I plan to do a series of 12 videos in which I will cover each one of them. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time, but until now I didn't have the means to do it. I finally found some time and means to do it, so I'm very happy about it. The idea came from a need to share this information because it's really, really difficult finding information about those doujinshis online. Frankly, I only got to see what they were really look like, all 12 of them, um, until I only after I got them, basically. You can find some escalations for the stories of the most famous works. You have stories of Rigveda and Tokyo Babylon in some of them doujinshis, and you can find some of those online, but that's about it. And their doujinshis, it's not only about those works; it's much more than that, and it's really difficult to find it online. Probably because they were published a really long time ago, and also because there are not a lot of copies available. The printing was somewhat limited, and I don't know why else, but the truth is that you can't really find a lot of information about those doujinshis, and I think people would be interested in knowing what they were like, and also because they are so unique looking. Each one of those 12 books, they have their own characteristics and their own and they're very original, and it would be a joy for me to share with you, to those of you who were not able to see how they are until now. For this one, we're going to start from the very beginning, from the very first one. So we'll do a review of this one right here. It's called, it's a doujinshi for Maohden, and I hope you like it. Okay, so here it is, the front cover and the back cover. So this was CLAMP's first doujinshi, and it was released in 1987, as you can see here. And it's a doujinshi about Maohden. Maohden is a novel by writer Hideyuki Kikuchi that was released in 1986, so a year before this doujinshi came out. So this was CLAMP's first doujinshi, the first doujinshi that had the name CLAMP on it. They had other doujinshis released before, which I plan to do eventually videos about them, but this was the first one that had the name CLAMP. What I like about this one is the obi, because the obi strip here, for those who don't know, obi is this this thing here. It means belt in Japanese, so it's literally a belt, and I like this one because you can see it's pretty homemade, and it was made with recycled paper, or it's a thick recycle. It's a bit thicker than the regular recycled paper you use for printing papers, but still it's very amusing. So just so you can see the full cover without the Obi. So you can see here it says Clamp Novel. They don't use this. I think this is the first and only time they use novel. After that, they only used book. So Clamp Book. You see that they use Clamp Book instead of Clamp Novel, which really isn't a novel. So for the sake of this review, I'm gonna remove the cover, and before I do that, just let me show you how this I don't know how to call this, but this is how it looks like. And here you have something that it explains what clamp is, which is the merge of all of these groups here. So some of them are in Japanese and I cannot pronounce, but you have Z Project, which was Nekoi and Mokona and Satsuki's group. You have this one is actually, I think it's misspelled if I'm not mistaken, but anyway. So here you see again Clamp Novel. I like that the tagline says made with pride, with quality and pride, and they will use this for many other releases. So this is the other side of the, I don't know how to call this, slipcover. So it says Clamp 1 because it's the first one, the first book that they released, and the release date, July 19, 1987. And here the other tagline: we make our products good so that we can be proud of them. I like this one as well. So that's the slipcover and the full illustration, so you can see here. I'm not going to do a review about Maohden because I don't know about it. I'm not a fan or anything, so I'm just going to do a review based on my own knowledge about clamp and my very limited Japanese skills. So please bear with me because there are many things here that I don't know about. I'm just going to show to you what it looks like, what Clamp Doujinshi looks like. So this is what it's left after I remove the slipcover. You can see it's pretty simple, and this is something that you will notice that from for the other ones, they tend to get more and more elaborated design-wise. Clamp were always taking the book design to another level when they were doing their doujinshis. So they don't look the same. Like one book does not look the same, and you can tell that this is the first one because it's fairly simple compared to the other ones, which you will see for the other videos that I will hopefully make. Okay, so let's begin. Here you have a few color pages. Again, another color page. It's coming off. Oh my god. I have to be careful. So this is not, this wasn't drawn by none of the current Clamp members. I can't remember the name of this person, but I will eventually. Just give me a second. So we have a comic here by the same person. Oh, this one is by Tamayo Akiyama. As you can see here, it shows. So sometimes they write right in the beginning. Maybe they did here. Did I miss it? Maybe. Oh, this one is by Nekoi. I totally missed it. So you can see here, this one is by Nekoi. So you have here one by Tamayo Akiyama, a former Clamp member as well, and the pages are kind of reddish. There's this cool effect. One thing that you would see in doujinshis is that they write a lot of the dialogues in the like handwritten dialogues. Let me show you a better one. And they also are very short stories. So you see that some of them they last like for um, 3 pages, sometimes 1 page. Oh, here it is, the index that I was looking for. So the index is kind of crazy because they don't have really an order. Like it's not front to back order. They kind of classify it by genres. So you have here a novel part, illustration, free talk, what they call etc., and a comic. Um, so this is kind of it can be very confusing because it doesn't really follow the order like I just said. So you can see that there's a lot of people here for the comic part. So you see there are some familiar names like Tamayo Akiyama. Kouga is here. Kouga is a very famous author, and she also contributed with a comic. We'll check that later. You see here they just say clump, like Nekoi here clump because they probably drew a lot together, everything together. And the very last one you have Mokona here. On the other side, on the novel side, you have Okawa, of course, doing the novel, and Mokona, the illustrations. Free talk, you have Mokona and Satsuki Igarashi. So you have this sort of index. So you oftentimes you have to go back and forth to see who's drawing that. For example, this one is page, I don't know, let's see. Oh, this one's by Kouga. So you see here it's called City Hunter, and there's her signature. So this is pretty cool because Kouga is a very famous author, like I said. She has a little more time doing manga, sorry, professionally than Clump. And here you can see what I just said, that the speech bubbles they have a handwritten instead of digital or a collage. Forgive my English. So let's skip forward. You have another comic here, very small one, and probably a gag one. So this person right here, Soshi Hisika. I don't know who they are because they're not a former CLAMP member. So even though they did a feature, even though they worked for this doujinshi, it doesn't mean that they were part of CLAMP. So they had a lot of guest artists who drew a story, and then they would never appear again in another doujinshi. So this is pretty common. So this one is really hard because as I showed you in the beginning, there's simply a lot of people here, and most of these names are very unknown to me. Like I know a few of the former CLAMP ladies here, like Lisa Sei, Okyon, Sei Nanao as well. But there are also names that I don't know. Like here in the illustration part, especially, there's just a lot of people I'm not aware of. So this first one is not very clampy. Let's just call it this way. There's a lot of contributions from other artists. So here you have some random like talk. I don't know who did this. Here you have another by Tamayo Akiyama. Okay. I'm just skimming. Oh, this is what I wanted to show. It's nice. It's by Okawa and Mokona. So probably Mokona did the illustration here. As you can see, it's very early Mokona. It's not at all the style we have grown to love and adore, and it's not at all. It does not look like the current style. Better. Let's put it this way. It looks great. I mean, obviously, I would already love it like this, and I already do. It's gorgeous, but it just doesn't look like her style, like her current style, very much. So here we have a novel. It's a kind of an Okawa's thing. We know that she loves to write, and Mokona embellish it with pretty illustrations. So it's nice that the layout, as you noticed, it's not like this anymore. So you have to turn the book this way in order to read it, and I think that's pretty cool. And Clamp loves to play with that, with the book's dimensions. This is a very pretty illustration and very clampy. So here we have a very Kujaku-like character. This is very Mokona. And it's over already. As you can see, it doesn't say anything, but it's over because something else started right here. And I don't know who did this. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh, it looks like the very first one, but black and white. Okay. Sometimes they would do like news pages, like do some advertisement, like this, for example. Here, they are advertising the second one. So this one is the one that will come out after this one, and they say here that it's coming out in August, which was the following month after this one. So they probably are doing advertisement for other books and other doujinshis, probably from the same artist that collaborated for this right here. So here another comic by, oh, there's some songs. It did say songs, so you have songs. They're not by Okawa though, but they do have some pretty illustrations together along with it. Okay, more comics. So you see there's a lot of different styles. Some of them don't look like Clamp at all. It's the early stages. So here's something by Satsuki Garashi, as it says here. It's a free talk, and maybe this is something that was drawn by her. It's really rare to see Satsuki's illustrations. We don't see it very often. She's mostly the art assistant of Clamp, and we know that she did some mascot designs, and of course she might have done some other things, but character wise, when it comes to Clamp, it's always either Mokona or Nekoi. So it's really rare to see something drawn by Satsuki, and this was most likely drawn by her. But as you can see again, and if you remember, she used to write essays for New Type magazine, so she really likes writing as well. And it was the early beginnings of her columns, let's call it this way. Here you have another story altogether. It's a novel as well, and we are reaching the end. One more comic. This was a Clamp member. I can't remember. Oh, this is Sei Nanao. Here, right here, it says Sei Nanao, and it was her who drew the very first color page. Can you see the similarity? So pay attention here, and then you have here, they're very similar styles. So it was Sei Nanao. Okay, oh, another one by Mokona, and this is a full comic. So it says here, Mokona Apapa used to be her pen name. So you have here, it's clearly Mokona's style, and handwritten speech bubbles again, and you can see already her style already taking shape. This is what Clamp would be known for in a few years' time. She was always, since the beginning, very talented. So this is something that they do very often. At the end of the book, they always pick some character pictures to describe themselves, to describe the members. So here you have one for Okawa. So can you see her name here? Okawa Nanase. You have here for Sei Nanao, one for Mokona Apapa. This is for Tamayo Akiyama right here. I don't know who this person is. I don't recognize their names at all. This is Mik Nikoi. This is Satsuki Garashi. Okion. I don't recognize this name. And this is Risa Sei. Okay, so we have 12 people. As you can see, 12 people. So this was Clamp in the very beginning, like 12 people, and here they just leave some messages. So I don't know what they're saying, but they're leaving some small messages about themselves, like giving some information, and they do this very often. You will notice in the other videos that I make. Okay, and this is the very final page, which is the page for the credits. Here they are explaining that Clamp is the merge of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. So you have the same groups that I showed earlier, and they're explaining that they are the merge of those groups. And you have the price here. At the time, this costs 1,000 yens. The release date, the number of printing, and the personnel, like who did what. And you have here Clamp responsible for the work, and Okawa was responsible probably for the book design, book cover, binding, or something like that. So you can see she was already that involved back then. And I don't want to make this too long. I just hope you guys enjoyed it, because it's really rare to see CLAMP Doujinshis on the internet, and I wanted to give the opportunity for you guys to check, even though it's not the same thing as seeing with your own hands, but definitely, I think it definitely helps to see that. So I'm just putting back the cover. Here you go. Thanks for watching the video, and please look forward to the next ones. See you next time.